So you call this Thanksgiving cheesecake. Why do you want to tell the story why you call it that?
Okay, I began working at Newman Center probably 15, 20 years ago. And every year at Thanksgiving, we serve the community a free Thanksgiving dinner. And it used to be, well, 500 people. We're up to 1,200 now that we serve. And this particular recipe, our good friend Linda, who's passed away now, she organized this dinner 47 years ago. And this was one of the recipes she always made, was this cheesecake. And we would make
And not just a little bit of it. I mean, you're talking enough for 400 or 500 people.
Well, what we would do, we'd be making apple pies, pumpkin breads, all kinds of desserts. But we would do in this big pan here. This is a 20 by 13 in a 4-inch deep pan. And that's the size that we made recipe.
How much cream cheese does it take for that?
That takes 4 pounds of cream cheese to make this size cake. And you don't serve big pieces because it is rich. It's excellent cheesecake. And we would make usually 7 or 8 pans of this. And each pan would be a different variety. With this recipe, you can change it. The basic recipe is a vanilla plain cheesecake. We add in.
My favorite was blueberry. I remember the year you made blueberries.
I have
Just like-
blueberries today that I brought with, so we're going to make the cheesecake, but in a smaller size pan today. I don't plan on feeding.
Well, I mean, that's quite a bit still.
This is quite a bit.
I mean, if you're doing that's more than a family could eat.
I have good people tomorrow that will be eating it.
Just like-
Card game, card game. The girls will eat it. But what you can do with this recipe is very nice. Cook it, cool it down, place it in the refrigerator. Then if you have extra, you can cut it into pieces. Saran wrap them, put them in the freezer, pull them out later to eat. They're excellent. Excellent to have later on.
I can attest to that.
I always get some after Thanksgiving. Shh, quiet. I take a few pieces home and I wrap them up, put them out away. So during the year I can pull it out and eat some cheesecake. And with this cheesecake, we do a variety of types. We'll add some pumpkin sauce to it. You can add peaches. Cut the peaches up into small pieces and drop that in.
So you don't blend them, you like the texture?
You can do texture, you can blend them, you can do whatever you desire. You can
Is that
put,
chocolate chips?
I'm gonna do some chocolate chips in part of the pie today. You can put actual chips. This past Thanksgiving, we did the big sheet pan. We only do 1 pan now of the cheesecake. We don't serve it on Thanksgiving anymore. We serve it on Tuesday night when the Knights of Columbus bring in all the cooked turkeys, all prepared, and we serve them a nice dinner. And the first question they ask me is, what kind of cheesecake did you make this year? And so this year we had half of it with chocolate chips and half of it was plain, because in case anybody's diabetic, you want less sugar for them, you can put, I have it already cut up. I have walnuts all chopped up, already blended up, so I can put that in. You can do pumpkin spice, and I'll add some in until it looks about, oh, that looks pretty. Okay,
Wait, you cook from the heart too?
I cook from the heart.
It's just like,
Whatever you decide, baby.
I just read what your apron says.
Yeah. And we will do strawberries, blueberries, you can put caramel. I'm gonna put some chocolate syrup in today and swirl that through a little bit so you can see the different effects. I mean, you can do anything with this cheesecake, but I'll tell you, the topping on it, that's my favorite. Is the topping that we make that goes on the last 10 minutes. So whatever variation you make, you can either leave it plain on top or you can add the sour cream topping. So, all right, well, I think we're about ready to get started. So
So
that's
what are the essential ingredients?
essential ingredients is we're going to be putting a graham cracker crust in a pan, put it in the bottom and up the sides. Okay, and
So up the sides is important because
Um,
it'll burn the edge of the, you don't have to crack up the
you have the
sides.
graham crackers up the side and an excellent crust and very easy to make. That will be our first step that we do in making this recipe. Then we will go and we will start creaming the cream cheese. And what we'll do is a half a recipe today versus the full recipe.
I was checking.
Side.
I always forget to leave it out long enough at room temperature.
Needs
I'm like-
room temperature.
I mean, how long do you think that takes? I mean, at least an hour.
I took my cream cheese out today at 11 o'clock. So it's been sitting
About 2 hours. Yeah.
2 hours. When we make it at the facility, I usually call ahead of time and say, take the cream cheese out an hour or two ahead of time, I'll be in. Because you have to have it softened, you just cannot flip it if it's cold. So it's very important to have it room temperature. So we'll be doing, the mixture will be cream cheese, eggs, 6 eggs. I'm using farm fresh eggs from my girls that I picked up yesterday. Right, I mean,
Does your chickens have names? Just your girls.
these are just my 6 girls. No names, they're farm animals. There's a difference between animals and pets. They're not pets, so no names. And then, after we get the mixture put together, whipped up everything, then we can, depending upon how you wanna make it, if you're adding like pumpkin, to make it a pumpkin flavored cheesecake, which is excellent. You would mix that right into the batter when it's being whipped. And if you're doing the blueberries, no, that you just stir in so it doesn't get all pushed. Okay, so depending on what kind of ingredients, my chocolate chips, I'll just sprinkle those in and add the batter over it. So that way it's kind of layered.
So the chocolate chips, you say like graham cracker crust, chocolate chips, and then the cream cheese over it?
I would put the cream cheese, put some of the cream cheese in,
Oh,
and then add some of the chocolate chips. Then put more cream cheese, more chocolate chips.
Cream cheese lasagna.
Yes, and
Fix this.
it's excellent. And so depending on what you want to do. Now, when I add the chocolate, if I'll do a little section of it and I'll just swirl that in. You know, I'll pour it across the top and I'll take a knife, and just drag it around.
Take some designs.
Take some little designs in it, so. So we'll have
Oh, wow, lots of little tricks.
this type of cheesecake, you can make it whatever you like. And there's so many variations that you can do, and in this little pan, I can't do that much. Versus when I do this big pan, you could really see the effects of doing all these different variations. But generally, I'll do like the big pan, a half and half, so I have 2 types to offer people. So today, I'm gonna show a couple variations, and we'll have a variety of this little pan. So, and then after we get that all set, then we'll place it in the oven. And temperature is 350 degrees. Length of time for cooking, that's gonna vary according to your oven and just watching.
Again, by the heart.
By the heart, you just look at it to see if when it starts pulling, you'll know.
So I've had some cheesecake that's kind of, I wouldn't say wet and mushy, but softer.
It's that heavy. a heavy New York style big cream cheesecake.
Got
It's very good.
Yeah, I noticed you don't add milk to it. so.
No. Now, plenty of cream cheese, you got plenty there.
There you go.
Okay, so,
Now, how many times, like, do you only make this for Thanksgiving, pretty much? Cause it's a, I mean, you normally make a lot of it.
right, I make a lot of it, and, well, now, the last year or two, we cut back and said, no, we're only doing one pan now, because it's expensive making for that quantity of people, and it's all donated.
Yeah.
Materials, so it's hard to get these supplies, so. But if you wanna make this size of a pan, I think these, store.
Sure, but I mean, people are all over the world,
Okay.
so
You wanna go to some place that sells large quantities,
where you get like the 4 chunks, yeah.
it's a 5 pound block. Big.
These are like a half pound.
You know, they have
You're doing 4 pounds, you need 8 of these.
8 of those.
That'd be expensive.
But we get the big block, and then we can make it that way. So it works out, and it's very good, so. Okay, should we get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first thing, well, your oven is stable, 5 minutes.
Feel free to. I mean, those convection ovens heat up really quick. But it's, you know, I always forget to turn an oven on, so.
Okay, let's.
My,
start
my
it.
new rule now is whenever I'm baking something, I turn the oven on as soon as I start.
Okay, yeah, that's what we wanna do, so.
You really wanna have like it
How do I
preheated,
wanna turn?
the button on the top, to put it on. And then. Right below it, turn the knob, it's at 325, so.
Okay, and I have already washed my hands, soap, water, right, so my hands are clean. But I am going to put gloves on in order to do the graham cracker crust that I'm touching. So I will do that, I'll put gloves on. And I have already pre-measured all my ingredients basically prior to coming, so. All right, the first thing you have to have is 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs for a 9 by 13 size pan. If you're making this large size pan, which is 20 by 12, then you would have 4 cups.
And you're providing, you'll provide the complete recipe for it, so I
Yes,
can
you
post
can
it,
keep that one.
so.
I thought.
Because I mean,
I'm
this
gonna-
is passed down for, you said 50 years of Thanksgiving?
It was.
You don't know what year they actually started making it, for sure.
I don't know. He was out of a big book, but ever since I started around 20 years ago, they have this cream cheese. Hey,
There you go.
always had it. Linda organized everything. And who knows? Who knows when anything started? She never wrote through
This side.
So, but this is her recipe that I have now.
Thank you for
written.
sharing her legacy.
And I have now split it in half, so you've got the single version and, the full size version, so it's easy to understand everything. Okay, so first we're gonna take everything for the graham cracker
No,
crust.
did you just buy graham cracker powder, or did you?
This was,
You
buy
can buy it pre-chopped up.
you can buy pre-chopped up graham cracker crust, or you can buy just regular graham crackers and grind them up in your processor. Okay, so this was really center. Alright, so this is 2 cups of graham cracker, just mix everything right in the pan.
Oh, I like that. Let's man,
Don't have to do it,
especially when you're making a big one.
that's
A lot
it.
of times you don't have big containers.
So nice, you just mix. And when we were doing the series of 6 or 7, you just, okay, graham crackers, boom, 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 boom. And you just fill all your pan, so it's a nice little assembly line. Okay, then we need a half to a stick of butter, melt it. So I'm gonna take one stick here. And we're gonna pop this in the microwave. So I'll be back.
Guess you can't see you. Microwave in it. Need help? But
Alright, now it's the frosting melting. And while we're waiting for that, then you also need one.
you showed like all the things you can put in here. Have you ever put something that you didn't like in it? Like,
Never.
because you ever tried to make a savory one? I always ask weird questions, but
We do this for desserts.
right, so,
So, I mean, after a big Thanksgiving dinner, you've already had everything else, so.
yeah,
I mean, we always do something that's
I'm
gonna
trying
be
to-
special, something different
yeah,
with fruits.
because this is a lot of different options.
Oh, you could put apples in, you could put cherries in, you could take pie filling. You know, that depends, if you wanna put that, mix some of that in, you could. It's your option, what you put in here, but we try to keep it more simple. You know,
But do you tend to just put like one flavor, or do you ever like? The only thing I can think of is maybe mint chocolate chip, but otherwise,
I thought I was doing that, and but my dad was too old, so I was like, I was gonna have a mint chocolate chip, you can put mint flavoring in. You can put, you know, like this is almond, I can add almond, I got vanilla flavoring in my other bag. You can put pumpkin spice, and the pumpkin, this is pumpkin pie spices, or put that in. If you wanna do licorice, mix, you can put that in, whatever your heart desires. You can put it in to make whatever flavor. If you wanna make it a lemon cheesecake, you can put lemon, that would be good.
put a little bit of lemon curd in there for texture. Oh man, lots of ideas.
You can try anything your heart desires, strawberry, I've done strawberries, I've done blueberries. These are fresh blueberries from the farm, from my friend's farm. My strawberries, they were always from his farm also, I mean, whatever you want. Blackberry,
When you're doing the fresh stuff, you chop it up real small, or? I mean,
like the blueberries, I'll just stir them in
okay,
and let it cook that way. It's your option.
got it.
You know, however you wanna do it, if you wanna carry it, and then just put it right in, process of. So when it's mixing,
How much texture do you want?
you want a little bit, you want a lot. Whatever, that's why, when we do the pumpkin, it's just blended right in. And so, it's like pumpkin pie, and she's like,
Oh,
pumpkin pie, oh, it is so good. Excuse me a moment. We get one more.
you just got 2 cups of graham crackers and a stick of butter.
Okay, and then we have to put a little bit of sugar, 1/4 cup of sugar. Okay, so
For
just,
sweetness, that sounds like very little.
that's why diabetics, you should have this because it's not that much. And, you know, that's spread out, the graham crackers, so you might even get a piece of graham crackers on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put my sugar in. That's done. And then I have 8 teaspoons salt. There we go. That's not much. Sprinkle that in. Okay. I need to mix things all down.
What was the last thing you put in?
I put salt. 8
Salt.
teaspoons of salt.
Okay.
We got 2 cups graham crackers.
And now I'm mixing it around.
What was it, a half cup of sugar?
No, 1/4 cup of sugar.
Oh,
1/4
4
cup of sugar or 2 ounces.
So just barely any sugar and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, so.
Just make sure all your, sugar is all round up. graham crackers that don't have any chunks or anything, they're all really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna slowly start adding my melted butter in here.
That was too slow, just dump it all in.
We don't want to get it too much, because it says add a cup to, or not half a cup, excuse me, half a stick to a stick.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't need a whole stick.
No, well, you never know.
How dry it is.
It's a variety of factors, you know, how much you need. Okay, I
So I
even
put the
brought,
whole stick.
I brought extra good paste if you. But you just never know. What's gonna come.
I actually smell the smell of graham crackers right now. It's at least the smell already. Starting to smell graham crackers.
I'm getting a little bit more butter. A little bit more butter.
Actually, a little bit more than it's thicker than it's. So. One thing you mentioned was to make sure you put the graham cracker up the sides too. So it doesn't burn the cheese.
Seconds.
Ah.
That's about there.
Yeah, I usually like when I make my personal cheesecake, I'll just make it plain and then put my fruit or topping on it. So every time it's a different flavor. So, but I don't think you need it. I
You
mean,
can just put the top, if it's right on top, then for instance, you wanna get a can of apple pie filling or cherry pie filling, put that right on. Whatever you wanna try. It's your option. Not with fresh canned peaches on it. if I wanted to.
the bake shop here, they make a strawberry crunch topping. They make a strawberry syrup and then a crunch topping that goes on top.
Strawberry syrup topping would be excellent on this.
Yeah,
Like, if you're making strawberry pie, the jelly. Shoot, fresh strawberries, dynamite.
You're just trying to get it moist enough that it'll stick to the sides.
I had one girl that, and help us always. She'd come in and be like, ooh, this is the pie crust, I want some of that crust.
Yeah.
We love eating that crust. That was her favorite. Now it's starting to stick.
You wanna make sure there's no surface that's bare, so. That's what. The cream cheese, if it touches the side, will burn.
I don't think it'll burn, but
Well, it definitely stick if it's harder to come out. of the
it'll be
pan.
harder to come out.
So you're going up all the way up the side.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking which one like. partial.
No, this is, she's been rising, it's up there. And it's,
You do have eggs in it.
in
Yeah,
the
so it
cheese.
does, it does rise up.
Yes, yes, it does. Yeah, it's a very, very good. Oh, I'm getting it.
I was actually surprised that little sugar.
Usually not full of sugar. I mean, graham crackers already have sugar in it.
Yeah.
So you really don't need it, you don't want it to be sweet. You don't overpower it. This is why I put the gloves on, because I didn't want to get graham crackers all over my table.
If you have well, buttered fingers, I mean, that's really good for chapstick, right? Chapped skin, right?
Chance, you know,
Yeah, I'm reading over the recipe for the big batch, and I'm like, holy moly.
and see, when I make it at the center, I'm not real picky about exactly how much goes in. I just don't, you know, okay, that needs a little bit more, okay, let's add some
I
more.
mean, if it has slightly less sugar or slightly more,
Depends on what you're doing, how you want it to taste. If you've got, you know, you like things sweeter, go for it, you know, and add more. But I'm the type of person, I try to do away with as little sugar as possible. I don't normally eat sugar, so. I try to be nice and healthy, natural as possible. I grew up always eating things without sugar because of my dad. And so,
well, I grew up basically no white food. It's like white food had no nutrition. It's like empty calories, empty.
Yeah.
There's basically no nutrition, so.
not healthy thing. As I these peaches with sugar, it's all natural. I can them, you know, I do peaches, I do that, sauce, and I put very different cream.
So it's been 2 years ago.
Yeah. And so, yeah, basically it was 22, 23.
Yeah.
And then, oh, that will last.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, last year we didn't really have a good peach crop because the early trees.
And well, the peach crop got frozen out, the blossoms.
Yeah. So it's a good thing you had some extras. the year before.
I still got some.
Yeah.
I have a good friend and he has farms and he always gives me, you know, stuff, so it's very, very well. His peaches are the best. Always have to have some. And there were some peaches that made it, so.
Now, do you have to bake the graham cracker before you put the cream cheese in?
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
making a crust.
It's all done at the same time. Very, very simple. I can have graham crackers. This is what kind of assuming is getting this graham cracker crust all put into the cake.
I think what I do like about yours is it's thinner. A lot of graham crackers, like on the cross, are really, really thick. And I'm sensitive to gluten, so usually it's too much. And I really like when it's a thin crust.
That's what you want it to thin crust. I got it a little bit too thick, bring it thinner, get it on the bag. And what I have problems with is always when you do the corners or the coming around the edges, I always end up getting it too thick at those spots.
You have to try to pull it into the center.
Yeah, then you have to pull it out.
So you say in years past you made 7 of these huge ones?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
and we used to have ovens that didn't work properly and would take forever. But now, we think that Southern Illinois, Knights of Columbus, they provided us, nice bonus check and bought us new ovens, new stove for baking because we do all kinds of cooking and events. So, I mean, now our ovens were beautiful.
I mean, this year's Thanksgiving was over 1,100 people.
We had a bunch. And I'll tell you, cooking for that many, it's a lot of fun.
Well, when you have enough volunteers, it's a lot of fun.
We had plenty of volunteers.
Yeah.
It really
Feed
works.
that many people for free at Thanksgiving meal, that's amazing.
And I think, what do we do? 32 cans of stuffing.
Every year
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, there's a big pan, no pan, and we went through it. I don't think there was any left over,
Now it's like 80 turkeys that
something like
they
that.
they brought. Now luckily that we don't have to cook, well, we have to just,
Heat it up, just
Yeah.
heat the turkey up and heat the dressing up the day of. And because it's all prepared ahead of time. So basically, the stuffing, we make that the day before. And get it all mixed, put in pans, put in the refrigerators. We have special refrigerators delivered, so we have plenty of room to put everything. And then we cook it that morning. Okay. I think
let's see. So stuffing, mashed potatoes,
here we have the crust. Okay, I mean, it's at pretty high, so it's pretty good. So that should work. That should work fine.
because you don't need this, right?
We're gonna need some of that stuff. Did you find this?
Set that up, so.
That here right now. Okay. Now, our next step is, here I brought a ruler so we can measure the pans, in case anybody needs. The next step is my filling. Okay. So what we're gonna first do is we're going to take out our cream cheese. One extra.
Extra,
I got an extra just.
what, like one of them won't have some in it or something?
Yeah, I just didn't know. No, I just grabbed it out, just brought it with. So, get our packages all open. Try it when I go.
Otherwise. You help her here.
How much cream cheese are we using?
Okay, we're gonna use 2 pounds of cream cheese for this size pan.
I've never thought of opening with a knife. I don't know why. That's definitely made it easier.
It's really good, so,
This one's still cold.
they're all.
That one's the bottom of the sack.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, they'll be fine, they're all okay. These are mixed up with no problem.
That was surprisingly cold for being 2 hours out.
I'm gonna start, creaming the mixture. These,
Like the lowest setting, right?
well, that's creamy. I don't want it to go flying all over the kitchen.
Say that with like expertise.
Well, when you have whole cream cheese, it will fly, it can fly. Because it goes flipping out of the mixer. We've done that in Newman, but it comes flying out.
I saw that hand blocking it there. I'd be like, it's flying out before.
Okay, so that's my core, I'm gonna throw that away. That's done. Now I'm gonna turn up my speed a little bit.
Have you decided what flavors?
I am gonna use the vanilla flavoring. But I'm gonna make part of it canned vanilla, part of it blueberry, part of it chocolate chip. So it'll be, yeah, what flavor do you want?
That's just like,
Gotta have variety. And the key thing is just let it get. I mean, it's, you know, nothing wrong, you wanna get this nice line. So having your cheese soft is critical. Okay? Also having your eggs room temperature is very important. And when you have fresh country eggs, those are stored at room temperature all the time. You don't refrigerate.
if they haven't been washed.
If they have not been washed, you do not have to refrigerate the eggs. If you buy eggs at the store, you have to refrigerate.
We have this discussion on the cooking show regularly. In Europe, they vaccinate chickens against salmonella, so they don't have to refrigerate them at all.
Well, we don't have to, I can keep it for 3 months, so if they don't last, then they always want. Okay, then today, we have a variety of color, but they, I had one dozen this morning, I put it closed, the cartons and the eggs. It's never know.
How many chickens do you have?
Hey,
Six.
And if you make eight
Can you turn it sideways? A little bit. There we go, we can see it a little better.
Here it was, well, right.
I wonder how meringue then, I wonder if it makes a difference the fresh with the egg.
Yeah, very, very nice. I think in New Mexico for a number of years. When I was making Egypt for the cake, for my chicken thing, fresh eggs out there, it would be pouring over the side of this bowl. Because they were just so light. Slow it down now.
Look how pretty that is.
That is nice.
See, I was assuming cheesecake, you have to add milk to it, or
Yeah.
like to make it fluffy.
Now, it's whipping right now, which is what Linda always told me. Whip it, just let it whip for a
Or you
while.
can put the eggs in.
Yeah, yeah, just get it whipped. I mean, in fact, if you want, you can do the cream cheese, start that whipping before you can start the crust. That way it's had a chance to really good. As long as you let it whip, so that off, it's gonna be. She said, like, let it go 5 minutes. Just whip it. Because it's just really done. Superb job then. Nice.
Magic. But your thing is in a whipper blade,
No,
mixer blade.
right?
Yeah.
That's all we ever use.
Wonder, yeah, I mean, probably the whippet one would, you have a hard time with that thickness. So it's a mixer blade whipping it.
And you can vary your speed, just watch it, you know, don't walk away. I know, I was going. When we had the 5 pound, you know, big mixer.
It vibrated off the table.
Yes. Thank God it got one off the thing.
Oh, you brought it
So
before?
have you,
Before.
Oh, wow, I got.
Yeah, we were.
have you added anything to the cream cheese yet?
Nope, she said, did you add anything to the cream cheese yet? Did you add anything to
No,
it?
not yet. This is just in with. Really, really.
So, and it's really creamy.
Yeah, very,
I
very.
mean,
big.
looking in there, it looks like basically meringue right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Light and fluffy is what we want it to get. And having it again at room temperature is gonna help make it much easier and better to live. Okay, so I
you
think,
made it all the way to almost it looks like you're at 9 now.
yeah, I go all
Oh,
the
you're
way.
all the way, all the
I
way.
go all the way, and that brings it really, really nice. But I'm holding on because I can feel it like kind of walk off the table here. So we don't want it to do that. So when I start adding the eggs, and I'm only gonna add 6 eggs. When I do the full recipe, it calls for 11 eggs. So
That's the big can.
that's the big pan. So my little pan, I'm just gonna give it half an extra egg. So it should be fine. I'll put 6 eggs in. So this guy's a little bit smaller, so. And
Yeah, that's the funny thing about baking. They specify how many eggs, but never what size egg.
and these,
It's like,
these are nice size. That's nice.
and someone told me each size goes up, it's 3 ounces more. Is it 3 ounces? I forgot.
I had some today that you couldn't even close the lid on part of the baby so good. And when you cook them, they're not fresh and the yolks are so yellow. Beautiful that way. I think I'm gonna start adding the eggs now. I'm gonna turn it down lower. I don't want it flying all over the room. So.
You want to get a spoonful out and show how fluffy it is before the eggs?
Okay.
Look, just look how fluffy this is. Like, that looks like meringue.
See?
Yeah.
How nice it is? It's nice, it's light, it's fluffy. So.
Yeah, it's,
Okay, so I'm just gonna take.
you're not putting the whole egg in?
Yeah, we are. But whenever you do eggs, don't directly break it. Always check to make sure you have good eggs.
Good eggs, and you have to
But
put,
you don't wanna have to repeat everything.
put a little shell in there by mistake too.
Yeah, always done that.
But especially if you're doing homegrown eggs. Because sometimes you might get one that's,
Even at the store, you can get bad eggs. I've done it that they're bad, and if you put it in your mixture, you gotta throw it all away. And start from scratch.
I have a bad habit of doing that. A couple times had a bad egg.
One. Okay. That one's good. Okay. And so we're gonna pour that in, and then I'm gonna get a second egg.
You just do 2 eggs at a time.
Put 2 eggs in at a time, is what we recommend. And then we'll mix. Continue creaming. And blend in. If this is gonna help really incorporate it, it's been nice. I wanna get the sides all straight, so, and everything gets in there. That's nice. Get a nice yellowish color right now, a yellow tint. On those
What do
good
you-
flakes.
What do you think would happen if you put all the eggs at once?
I mean, nothing.
That is,
It probably is this helping with incorporating into that fluffiness at the base.
you might lose some of the fluffiness. if you put it in.
Right, and this gives it a chance to really get it, you know, fluffier, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna bring
More homegrown eggs.
on egg. One, and you can see the nice yellow coloring of those eggs.
It's like,
You don't get that for long.
no.
Sometimes you'll even get a double yolk. That can see one for a while. So I'm gonna pour into more.
Almost
Turn
got
it
you.
down, yeah, turn it down. When you add the eggs, turn your speed down.
How much does it actually like puff up when you bake it?
It gets full. When I make this, and it usually comes up to the top,
So how full do you fill it? Like,
all the way with this.
well, but I mean, like, well, we'll see
You
what
know, yeah.
fills up the fan.
Yeah.
Turn it down, turn it down. I was just like, I just know I would mess it up. I've done that too many times. I got this little plastic cover I put on there. And then, of course, you know, when you really need the plastic cover, it's when you're putting things in it.
Can't find it then. So. Bring that a little bit.
You use that same mixer when you make a big pan?
No, I have a commercial bigger
Big
size.
one, I was like, man, that'd be a.
And, we have a little bit bigger. Because we do a little like pancake breakfast, so we're gonna get a big bag, do some pancakes, so we have a bigger KitchenAid also. And we have the cover, take it out, you put that there to protect you, and so bring back in it. I mean, this stuff is starting to overflow.
Yeah.
So nasty, so much stuff. So my eggs are done.
So all we have is cream cheese and eggs in there, so.
Right, so far. Now we're gonna add, now we add sugar, and there'll be 9 ounces of sugar, so that's half a pound plus an ounce. Okay, so. 8, be a cup plus an ounce. 9 ounces.
But yeah, it's interesting, this recipe mixes weight and volume.
Just showing it both ways, so you know how much to get depending upon your quantity size that you're buying. Some things are this ounces, some are this cup. So you need to know both ways, and so I decided to put it down so you can see it. That's the sugar we're adding.
This one here, doing the vanilla.
and vanilla. Vanilla is right here. These are my notes.
You need a measuring thing or? One
I
time,
got it right.
one time I actually measured the cap,
Oh, I just have a lot.
so I just used the cap.
I just wing it, you wing it, you know, what looks good, okay, that looks like about enough. It's the tablespoon of vanilla that we've got it in, so. I'm gonna turn it down, I don't want to tray it over.
Now, I have found out that vanilla does lose its intensity over time, like once you open it up. I guess. Now, if you wanted to add other flavors, this time. Oh, you feel like it needs more?
Ah, it's like the other touch.
But you're not adding any other flavors, so vanilla is your own flavor.
So we've got that going right now. I mean, you could add almond, I mean, we've done that, everything almond flavor, you can make coconut if you want, so coconut cheesecake. That.
Ooh, I just thought
Like a turtle cheese.
instead of graham cracker, if you ground up almonds or nuts as the bottom layer.
Yeah.
I was just
Probably
like,
good.
mm.
I mean, there's so many variations that we come up with. I say,
That doesn't look like cream cheese at all. I mean, it's so like liquidy.
yeah, but it's gonna pop up, it's gonna,
You didn't really add that much liquid. I mean, you just added
the eggs,
two eggs.
say eggs, like this.
You added, probably added a decent amount of air with the liquid up in.
Yeah. And we're still whipping it, and so it's just about ready. I'm gonna get my pan now.
You're not cooking, Lulu? I'm trying it just for the heck of it, but I'm making a very small one. It's like this big.
I'd have to do the same thing if I were to partake.
Yeah, if you, I guess if you were making a personal size, what? Let's see, if there was 8 things of cream cheese, it'd be 2 things of cream cheese and 1 egg. No,
If you make it
Well-
small, you know, the round pan, I would say.
like a pie pan.
In a pie pan, I would probably say, cut this 13 by 9 in half.
So
And,
you're
and I didn't have any graham crackers, so I used Girl Scout cookies.
You didn't have
Because I just bought some.
Girl Scout
The
cookies.
trefoil
What flavor?
Mint chocolate,
and the cookie crumbs from my jar.
What
Jane, we're
flavor of
making
Girl Scout
cheesecake.
cookies?
mint chocolate,
No, the trefoils.
The trifoils.
oh. That, you could do any of them.
Have we added the sour cream yet?
No, that's the sour cream is the topping.
Oh, no shit.
That's right.
That was cream cheese, eggs, sugar, and vanilla.
Tastes all right. I haven't gone by
Yes.
any numbers. I've just been putting in whatever.
Farm fresh eggs. You won't have the problem with raw eggs.
Oh,
And I use agave for the sugar.
Okay, so this is gonna be the fun part, because you're gonna make multiple times.
Wait, what are we doing now?
So what's that?
that's ground up walnut.
Ground up walnuts.
So if anybody has not
He's gonna make 3 different flavors here. Chocolate chips.
chocolate chips in there. I know the balls. I don't know how much of the plain there was gonna be because I think about the.
Chocolate chips and walnuts.
Almost like you're gonna have a turtle. And I don't have any caramel, so.
So that filled slightly more than half the pan, and it's gonna
It's
Like,
gonna rise.
rise all the way up, like all the way up to the edge, you know?
Probably.
So
So we don't want to fill it all the way.
basically,
Very into it.
what's that?
Okay, we're gonna do, okay, we're not gonna have any plain, we're gonna have that. Final section is gonna be blueberries.
You got blueberries, chocolate, and then
Chips and walnuts.
chocolate chips and walnuts.
I'm using cherry jam.
So picked and frozen. Did you go to Blueberry Hill and pick this or a friend's house?
Kinda puts it in my car train for me and.
Just like, I got extra blueberries, please take them.
He gives me a case, he gives me all kinds.
I
Or
love
he'll drop-
blueberries.
when we stop by my house and
They're my,
I'll come home and find all kinds of stuff.
they're my preferred snack in the winter. You can just take, 5 or 6 of them from the freezer and just,
Munch on it.
Munch on it.
Great, frozen. Now, this morning for breakfast, I had slushy and I had blueberries, raspberries, no, not raspberries, blackberries, peaches, applesauce, strawberry yogurt, a little bit of cinnamon and some xylitol blended up. Drink that for breakfast. So good. So good. And it's all farm fresh from his farm. All of it. My applesauce is homemade. Peaches. They're all homemade. Blackberries are from his farm. That's funny.
who said living healthy couldn't be phenomenal?
Oh, it's wonderful. My freezer, I have always had soup in my refrigerator from cauliflower, broccoli, green beans, Brussels sprouts, all kinds of stuff. It's still full. I can't get it down. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more chocolate chips. Put this in. Turn them around, put a little bit more topping of nuts.
They have to put some so you know what that layer, what that one is.
I know what it will be. But it will be, it's gonna get covered when we do the,
Oh, that's true, when you put a topping on it.
when we put the topping over the last 10 minutes. So, but I'll put on the toothpicks. Also.
You really like it.
I love nuts. I love
I
nuts.
think. I always try to be very careful because walnuts are really strong flavor.
I eat walnuts all the time. Very healthy for you. Okay, so I only put the nuts at this end. I didn't put them here. That's chocolate and that's blueberry.
There you go.
So for now, if you can take that camera so they can see the swirl. Okay. See how I've got it swirled with the the chocolate sauce. This is the chocolate chips and walnuts, chocolate swirl, and the blueberries over here. And we'll bake this now, and in the last 10 minutes or so, we'll put the topping on, so it'll get covered, so
Okay.
we'll be able to tell the difference between it.
Sounds good.
And so,
Let's
I guess this is the other.
Pull the right one really hard. Now,
Now what?
it's all the same temperature, it's a dry air.
No, but I'm saying, it's down in the middle.
Any of them, they're all the same temperature. Yeah, put it at the bottom. Yeah, it's, because it's a, you know, basically a giant air fryer, this temperature
Okay.
extends this stays.
All right, so
Comes back out.
now, time to this.
And show us how to make the topping.
Well,
Now-
it's topping, they don't want to do till it gets closer.
Okay, want to just explain it, and I'll pause the recording.
Let me wash my hands.
All right. I'll pause it. All right. You just, is it rising? So we got what, like 30 minutes and bacon there, but once it's baked, you put this topping on.
Well, the last 10 minutes, when it's still finishing up baking, we're gonna open and we're gonna put this topping on it to continue baking.
Now, you have to put that on, or you think
This
it's?
is optional, this is optional.
Now, you say it's optional. How many times have you optionally not put this on?
When at Thanksgiving time, when I do the plain vanilla, I put the topping on. For the different varieties, I did not put the topping on, so we can see what kind of
Oh, so you can tell
cheesecake, you could tell what it
that
was.
that's, when you're making 7 of them, how do you tell which one? which?
That's how we know we don't put the topping on those others.
Got
Like when we would do the blueberry or chocolate chip, walnuts, we would not put topping on it. And so this,
Oh, man, you smell the whiff of that oven? It just sent out a whiff of smell.
it's just good, and it's all rising up in there.
Just like,
It's rising. So what we have to do for the topping, and it takes, a half a quart, it's 16, basically 20 ounces of sour cream that I'm gonna be putting on, and I'm gonna cover the whole topping. And I'm going to experiment today. And on the portion that I did the chocolate chips, I'm gonna sprinkle some chocolate chips on top of this topping and walnuts. And then for where I put just the chocolate syrup, I'm gonna drizzle a little chocolate syrup on that
so
portion.
you can know what these.
Yeah, I know what's what.
Yeah.
And then the plain section, the blueberry section, I can put the blueberry syrup. So
Got it.
we were gonna do a plain section, but we ran out of room. So. Doesn't hurt. Okay, so now I'm gonna take, and this is really 20 ounces in here. I added the extra 4 ounces last night.
Oh,
into this
okay.
container. So I didn't have to bring 2 containers.
Got it.
So I'm just gonna,
20 ounces of sour cream.
there's 20 ounces of sour cream.
And you say you just put this on and cook the last
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And it browns itself in the regular cake, the cheesecake is still continuing to finish cooking. Okay, so this is the sour cream, then 1/8 of a cup of sugar. Right here, 1/8 cup of sugar. All pre-assembled. Okay, pour that in. And then half a tablespoon of vanilla. There's half a tablespoon. And if you want to put almond flavoring in it, put almond flavoring on it. You can do whatever flavor, but I'm using walnuts. So I don't want to mix the almond and walnut flavoring together. but you can do anything you like. Then you just mix it around, and you don't need mixing, no, mixer or anything like that, just do it in a container.
Oh, man, I can't describe the smell coming out of the oven. Just has that fan blowing that smell in here.
Yeah,
But it's-
I think I've never.
it's like- it's like- Oh, my goodness.
No one will want to eat anything.
I can literally taste it in my mouth, like,
It is good. It's very, very.
it's like,
And at Thanksgiving, now what we do, because we only make the one big pan, and what is left over that the Knights of Columbus have not eaten, we still have for workers
for the volunteers,
and
yeah.
volunteers, and on Thursday, or even before Thursday, we're taking, lunch breaks and stuff. We pull out some of this cheesecake, and it's like, ooh, it's fine. And it's like, skip the love, just want dessert.
I mean, I think what I like about it is it's thick and dense, but it's not like overwhelmingly
Not
rich.
No.
Or overwhelmingly sweet, and especially the ones that have the fruit in it. I don't know, it seems like it's healthy, but you're still eating like a whole,
You think,
pile of cream cheese.
no, well, but cream cheese is a no product, dairy product, so you don't need, that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's very healthy for you, it's a bunch of eggs. And, the cream cheese, I put walnuts in, that's helping to counteract people diabetics, getting that protein in.
When,
Your fruits, natural fruits. Normally, I don't do chocolate chip or things like that, because it's just too much for me.
It's sweet.
I can't do it. I'll order, if they don't call it order diabetic, I have to watch what
Right.
I had all my life, and that's why I'm nice and trained. My genetics, what I was given, so I make things to be healthy, try to be healthy, and this
Because
recipe.
typically cream cheese, I mean, typically this right here is super rich, super sugary, super like, it's basically a whole meal. Not like end of the meal, like popper. And so this, yeah.
And I think, you have all of the different varieties of cheesecakes. And this one is minimal for your sugar content. And I can run off finding some of the diet.
Yeah, so that popper, that's
This
all
is,
it is.
this is it, and I'll just spread this over the top
About 10 minutes before,
before this is done.
so. And then,
It's to the top of the graham cracker crust.
do you mind just showing and then we'll wrap up the recording, just open it up and I'll just. Let's see.
See how it's cooking?
Well, I'm not showing. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Sugar hot. Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good oven.
So,
That's-
and so how do you know that how do you know that it's ready?
I look at
It starts pulling away from the sides, you said.
a little bit and, it starts browning around the sides and it's already browning on the top.
And then you said it dries enough to create a little crack,
Future.
so. good
that's
deal.
the point that you add the sour cream?
She said 10 minutes before, No.
On 15 minutes.
well, we started the timer late, so it might be actually time to take it out and put that on, because we forgot to put the timer, remember? So,
Will when you're adding when you're adding the sour cream, is the center set at that point?
It's almost set. Almost set in the center.
now, is that sour cream at room temperature too? You have to make sure it doesn't matter.
I
I don't think
don't think it really matters. This is at room temperature, so it should be fine.
so. Will do. Anybody else have any final questions? I'll wrap it up and then we'll take pictures of the final
And
Otherwise, we got about 20 minutes of bacon.
And when you do your topping, when you put the sour cream mixture on, then you can take a little bit additional graham cracker crust if you like, and sprinkle it on top, make a batter and make,
Okay, and then bake it for 10 more minutes.
yes, bake it for 10 minutes, so you get a light, nice coating or a cracking of the,
So you're almost making like meringue on top of with sour cream.
what?
Nice. Do you have any final?
No,
nervous
it's
you were
it's
like,
delicious,
That's the hard thing. Every oven's different.
yeah, it's cooking the top of
Well,
it.
this one has a glass door at least you can put
I
in.
could love, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
Well, I don't mind it open, but
So,
I've never cooked it.
all right. Anybody else have any final questions for Sandy? All right.
Enjoy and remember, you can, if you have leftovers, you can take those pieces, cut them up into, smaller pieces and wrap them in saran wrap or baggies and put them in the freezer and pull them out later and enjoy them. So I just let them defrost a little bit and I eat it. I'm like, oh, this is good.
It's just like, thank you so much.